Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I realise I haven't posted a video on the channel for a long time now. It's been a year and it seems like that's about the rhythm of uploads on this channel, so sorry about that. But yeah, in today's video I feel like I should introduce you to some of the animals you either haven't seen in a long time, as well as animals you've never seen before. So you might not realise I have. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, then I post a bit more regular there, so you might see them there. If you notice I'm a bit quieter, I'm a bit more, I don't know, low volume, and tired. I have had COVID about 4 weeks ago now, as well as a viral pneumonia brought on by that. So I've done with the COVID symptoms, but I've still got a bit of pneumonia in my lungs. I'm still a bit this and that, a bit wobbly. As well as I found out today I have a sinus infection, which is causing me to have really bad eye pain and headaches, as well as, you know, some breathing issues as well. So that's all good, so that's fun. A couple bits of medication for that and I should be all good. And that's probably why, you know, I'm a little bit more skinny. I've lost a bit of weight, and that's just for being, you know, a bit sick. But hopefully you can get past the sound and you know, how my voice is, and we can enjoy some animals. It's very warm in this room. I don't know if you can see already, but you know, I'm sweating a little, just to mimic the enclosures and the environments we're in. This here is my 20-foot shed. It houses the majority of the animals, and I feel it may not be as cost effective as you might think, to be honest, because I'm still heating everything else. It's more of a stress level for the animals. If I'm bringing animals out of their enclosures, out of their warm enclosures, into a colder area, you know, it's like jumping into a swimming pool that's, you know, not heated. It's cold, especially for a cold-blooded animal, an animal that, you know, doesn't like a lot of quick changes. So keeping the room at an ambient temperature for the animals. It's around 28 degrees in here at the moment, maybe a little bit warmer because you know, the sun's just got in and it's at the peak of the day. Yeah, I'm gonna get out some animals and stop boring you. I know it's been actually quite a while. It's been about 5 minutes. Hopefully I'll cut this down. Alright, so you definitely haven't seen this guy in a while. Now this is Bob. He's my carpet python, Morelia spilota. As you can see, he's gotten huge. I don't know if I'll be able to find a video of him when he's smaller, but it is. I'll probably overlay it here, so you might be looking at that now. But yeah, look how big he is. He's pushing around 7 foot now. It's a bit difficult to tell on camera. He's still quite a thin snake, but I imagine he'll eventually start growing that ways rather than the lengthways, once he hits that sort of 8 foot or so. But he's fantastic. He's mellowed out quite a bit. He does have his days though, and he does get snappy as a classic carpet python does. But yeah, there he is. He's fantastic. He's growing. He eats practically anything you chuck in there. Chicks, mice, rats, anything. Alright, so here's another snake. This is Peanut. I'll get a bit closer for you just so you can see him a little bit better here. So this is a male ball python, also known as a royal python, Python regius. He is an old boy now. I've had him for a long time. And actually I moved him into a larger enclosure about a week or so ago, a couple of weeks ago actually. Because his old one, which is a 4 foot by 2 foot by a 3 foot tall, he actually managed to squeeze out of there, and he actually damaged the top scales, which are healing nicely. I don't know if you'll be able to see that on camera. And I moved him into a 3 foot by 4 foot by 3 foot tall. So a good amount of climbing room for him, because they do actually like to climb quite a bit. He's got UV lighting, a T5. You've got a heat bulb which is rigged up to a thermostat, a dimming thermostat. In fact, all of the wooden enclosures here are hooked up to thermostats, and every single one of these has a heat bulb and a T5 light appropriate for the animal, apart from this cage next to me here, which is the leopard geckos, which will be getting one very soon. It's just a case of money and time. Yeah, he's fantastic, and yeah, that is Peanut, the ball python. So this here is a snake I'm not even sure that you've seen. You might have done. I've had her for a couple years now, and she's doing fantastic. Now this is Lulu. She's a common boa constrictor. That's boa constrictor imperator, and she's a rescue. When I went to pick her up, I noticed all sorts of issues, riddled with mites, and she was all corkscrewing and very bad things. And eventually I sorted her out, tested her and everything, and turns out it's from underdeveloped lungs, and that's caused by a lack of care at an early stage. And she's probably never had good care in her life. She was in a 4 foot by 1 foot enclosure. It was awful. She's actually going through shed at the moment, so I've got to be a little bit careful because she's a bit on the blind side. And she's about 8 foot now. She's in an 8 foot by 4 foot enclosure, which is a bit of an upgrade from before. She has T5 lighting and of course a heat bulb as well. She pounds down, 2 large rats every couple weeks or so. She can be a bit of a handful though because she is so long. But you might see, if you've seen female boas before, you might find she's not the most thickest of animals. She's not the most muscular, and that's because her lungs are underdeveloped. If she does too much exercise or stimulation, she starts corkscrewing with her head, just because the oxygen's not getting to her brain quick enough, and is why her muscles aren't developed properly, because not enough oxygen intake. But she does exhibit amazing signs of natural behaviour. She has a huge cage where she can move around, a bigger log for her to climb on, and loads of fake plants. And she's getting a bit agitated now, so I'll go ahead and put her back. And this is an animal I know you definitely have not seen. This is actually an animal of mine that I've always dreamed to have since I've ever seen one. And this is actually a tiger salamander. He's always hungry. He's trying to eat my finger at the moment, as you can see, because he's always hungry. He's like a little crocodile. He sits in his water, coming with a mealworm. He jumps up and grabs it and goes back in, comes back for another one later on. But I don't think he's associated me with anything else but food. You can see his tail there. It's quite paddle-like. If you've seen a fire salamander, a German species, very similar to these guys in care. However, those sort of tails are quite trunk-like. They're like round, big, circular trees, and those salamanders are more built for terrestrial use. They just walk around under the leaf litter and logs, and they only turn to water for breeding. What I found with this guy is, because he is a decent size, to be honest, they do get a lot bigger than this though, get about double this size, is he likes his water. And if you keep a salamander in water, he will still keep some of those aquatic traits, like his fin-like tail, which I love about him. Now you can see why they're called tiger salamanders. They have these stripes, and this one's actually quite a spotty one, but you can actually get different almost locales and morph colorations with these guys. Some are more striped, some are more spotted, and I do believe you can get other types as well. But he's a fantastic animal, a dream animal of mine, and I can't be happier with him. He's eating like, like anything else I've never seen. He's fantastic. Alright, so I might have to get a little bit more closer with you guys with this one. because this guy's very small, and we're staying with the amphibians. Now, my hand is very wet because these guys need water. They don't like dry skin, especially dry oily skin, which humans have. And this here is a marbled newt. And my god, these could possibly be one of the most amazingly coloured newts on planet Earth. I mean, look at that. It's almost like a pit of walking moss. Now, he's actually going through a bit of a change at the moment. It's actually breeding season, I believe, and he's a male. And the difference is, a lot of the time, and the easiest way to tell the difference between a female and a male newt is during breeding season of all species. Males and females return to the water. They spend most of the time on land. Breeding season, they turn to the water, and that's where they breed. But males do this big display, and in order to do that, they grow their rudder-like tail, the big paddle-like tail again. I don't know if you can see that, but he's getting it, or he's losing it at the moment because he just went through it. And they also get almost like a fin down their back. Now, this male hasn't got that extreme. He's got a little bump there, little orange bits. But some species will get the huge fin down their back, and that's how they display. They show their, look how big I am to the males, and look how strong I am, and you want to carry my offspring to the females. But he's an amazing animal. I can't wait to get some females for him, and hopefully we can breed them, because they are just such an amazingly coloured and behavioural species. He's always out all the time, resting, chilling, walking around. So this one here, as you can see, is a toad. Now, this is a marine toad, a cane toad, a species of animal that is quite prolific around the world. If you go to Australia and you mention cane toad, you might get punched in the face, because these guys are just insanely devastating to the environment. You can see charts that scientists have made where the cane toad has encroached on new territory where they're not native, of course, and the monitor species that don't know any better see this animal, think, yummy, frog, gonna eat it, and these guys have toxins. I don't know if you see, but they have toxins down on their sides, which they secrete as a white sort of coloration when they're stressed, and it kills the majority of animals. If I gave this toad a lick, I might have to go to the hospital, to be honest. These guys are not fun. But on these charts, you can see the monitor population practically going extinct where these guys are going, and it's moving all the way up, all the way through where their range is. Wherever the cane toad is, the monitor species in that area is depleting quite rapidly, and it's all due to these guys. Now, these guys, it's not their fault. It's definitely not their fault. They were brought over and released. They don't know they're not supposed to be there, and it's the same for every animal that's an invasive species. It's not their fault. We can't have hate for the animal, but it's a devastating thing that's happening. But I have this animal here. They do get rather large, and I believe they are just amazing. They're such cool amphibians. They're super big. They eat practically anything you give them, and they've got such personality. As you can see, he wants to go over it. He just peed on me. He's not happy. Oh, you want to walk away now? Alright, I've got him back. And yeah, he's not happy, so I'm going to put him back in a minute. I don't want to stress him out too much. Typically with these guys, what I've read and seen and talked to is, if they get stressed out too much, they don't do too well in captivity. But this guy here, he's not been that bad. He eats, and I'll just pop him back, let him chill, and no doubt he'll eat later today. Alright, that's the cane toad. And the final animal we're going to have a look at today is the bosque monitor, also known as the savanna monitor, Varanus exanthematicus. They are such an exceptional species, and one of the species that's so misunderstood in captive collections. A lot of people like to compare their care to tegus and other monitors, but it couldn't be more far from the truth. In the wild, they fast for 6 months at sometimes, And they eat an almost completely insectivorous diet, traveling around the grasslands and burying themselves down deep in their burrows for humidity. They are constantly active, and it's very difficult to replicate that in a captive environment. But I've tried my best at doing so, and to be honest, he's not doing too bad. He's puffing up a little, and that's actually from a big meal he had the other day. He had a load of dubia roaches, didn't you, buddy? And he was actually basking, soaking up the sun. So what they do is they puff up a little bit, get some air inside them, and I think that helps them warm up. But they have some claws, and they have some teeth, and they are a monitor lizard, so I believe they may have some venom as well. But look at that tail, look at the size of him. What I like to do is see if I can find a video of him when he was a little baby and put that in here so you can compare the size. But a lot of people say these guys get around 4 feet long, and no doubt they probably do. But all the information, all the videos I've seen on these guys in the wild and researchers, I'll see if I can link those videos in the description for you, demonstrate these animals getting to around about this sort of size. And this sort of size here is sexual mature. I've seen his hemipenes. He sticks them out when he's excited. If I let him go for a walk around a new enclosure or anything like that, he sticks them out, he gets excited, he's springing them out, both of them prong, and walking around, and his tongue's going at it like he is now. He's thinking and he's tasting the air. He's figuring out what... Oh, there he goes. He's thinking out what's going on. There he goes. I'll let him walk around the back. But he's a decent sized animal. He's about 2.5, 3 feet now. So he's a handful, but he's a great one. I love him so much. I love him to bits. But he's healthy. That's the thing. The amount of bosks that are so fat or too skinny is unbelievable. They're coming from the wild, like he was. They were wild caught or captive farmed, which generally means people go out into the wild, they collect females, or they follow for the eggs. They wait for them to hatch, or they collect the females, they chuck them into a pen. The females lay the eggs, then they either kill the female for bushmeat or skin them, and the eggs hatch out, and they collect the babies and send them off into all these different countries, supporting a very violent and tricky trade to overcome, because they come in so cheap. I got this animal for £30. Now generally that's gone up in price with all the animals at the moment because import rates and everything, but that is a crazy thing to think about. An animal that is so difficult to care for and needs such a large amount of room for £30. It's unbelievable. It's worrying, and it needs to stop. But the thing is that trying to breed this animal is tricky as well. It's not cost effective. These animals take an extremely long time to incubate, and keeping an animal, especially something like this, and a breeding group of them in multiple enclosures that you can pair up successfully in a healthy way and can keep them healthily to produce eggs, to then incubate for a long time, to then have these babies, it just costs too much. And then the sale of the animal, you're looking at the hundreds for this animal. And yes, you are getting an animal that is healthy, but it's a lot of money, and it's very difficult to overcome that importation of the animal because it's so cheap from the wild and on all these farms. And going back to the first point I was going to make, which I just forgot for a while, is the animals that come in from captivity that are extremely skinny, they have all these parasites. Now parasites are a natural thing. A lot of animals have them. The majority of wild caught animals do have parasites, and it's something that in captivity, if you're feeding them right, look, he's going in the back there. If you're feeding them right, or what you feel is the right amount, it's not going to be enough because they've got these parasites that are taking all the energy. So then you get a skinny animal, their tail gets thinner, they just look malnourished, it's not healthy, it's not good. But then you have the other side, which is they're fat. You're feeding them too much meaty things, steak, you're feeding them chicken, cheap foods, chicks, rats and mice is the big one. My God, the amount of fat and unnatural things for these animals that are in those rats and mice is unbelievable. You won't believe it. And it's not healthy for them. So like I was saying, it's an important thing to think about when you're keeping these animals, is what they're like in the wild. And I'm going to link a load of different things in the description for these guys, because these are possibly one of my favourite reptiles I have ever kept. And on that note, I think I might end this video here. He's doing fantastic. I hope you are okay. I'm getting better, and it's very warm. I'm kind of cooking in here. So yeah, are you alright, buddy? Yeah, you're alright. Alright then. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you did find this interesting. I hope you did think that, you know, I haven't gone too long, and I'll try and do some more videos, but I say that every time, and look, 1 year later. But yeah, if you want to get in touch with me and ask me any questions, show me any cool videos or pictures of your own animals, hit me up on Instagram. I'm sure to check that out because I'm more active on there. So if you want to keep up to date, head over there as well. Be sure to click the subscribe button just in case I do upload another video. But yeah, from me in the shed and this amazing animal here, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.